scope, just sort of all your personal laundry to be hung out to dry.
That's one more question. We're also asking people why they're Republicans or Democrats. Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
I'm a moderate Republican.
Okay, can you start by saying I'm a Republican because, and tell us why?
I'm a Republican because I think that the government has an obligation to control spending with taxpayers' money, and I feel that Democrats don't do an adequate job. So, thanks.
We're doing a film about American politics. Have you ever imagined yourself running for office, what it would be like?
Yeah, I guess I have.
What have you thought? What would it be like, you think, to run for office?
Well, I think it would be a terrible intrusion on the privacy of my life in many ways. And I think it might be rather exciting.
Have you ever known anybody that ran for office?
Yeah, just for very minor office, though. I mean, just selectmen and things like that.
What was it like for them?
Well, they enjoyed it. They enjoyed the publicity, and they enjoyed having get together with everybody and that sort of thing. I'm not quite sure I would enjoy it that much.
One last question. We're asking people if they're Democrats and Republicans or why. Are you a Democrat or Republican?
Republican.
Okay, can you tell me I'm a Republican because, and finish the sentence?
Well, I am a Republican because I believe that there should be less intrusion of government on all affairs of life. And I feel that people basically should have a chance to work and do their best for what they get.
Last question. Most people have very strong opinions of politicians. What's your opinion of politicians?
There are good and bad, like in every field of life. I mean, there are some of them I consider to be very honorable people and all, and others I consider to be hacks to a certain degree.
Thanks. Sure. Nations, ever imagined yourself running for office?
Yes, local.
And tell me what you think it would be like in your imagination.
To run for office? I think that it would take a lot of work and energy and effort, and that you would have to do your best to dodge a lot of the press situations that we deal with. I think it would be a lot easier on the local level because you could have a lot more interaction with people.
Do you think, in your imagination, when you think about that, do you think that sometimes you could do a better job than the people that are in office?
Not necessarily better, but certainly I would like to extend the effort.
Okay, one last question. We're asking people if they're Democrats or Republicans and to explain why. Are you a Democrat or a Republican?
Well, for the most part, I usually vote Democrat, but not always.
Well, tell me if you feel comfortable with this saying, I'm mostly a Democrat, and then explain why. I'm a Democrat because...
Well, you know, these days, I feel somewhat ambivalent these days, but for the most part, I would say I vote Democratic because there's more of a focus on social issues.
What do you think about politics in general?
I think the House and the Senate really need to get their act in order. I think it's pathetic the way they've behaved in the past 2 years. I don't think they've served the people very well.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Frame this up. We're doing a series about politics across the entire United States.
Yeah.
Have you ever imagined yourself running for office ever?
I have run for office.
What was it like?
Hard.
Can you start by saying I've run for office and then tell us what it was like?
I did run for office. I ran for library trustee in Brookline. I had to go door to door knocking on doors. I ran against a woman and a woman won. So I have run for office.
So what was, when you say it's hard, why was it hard?
Going out door to doors. A lot of time spent. A lot of hard work. A lot of rejection.
Do you think that most people have any idea what it's like to run for office?
I don't know.
So when you lost, did you ever think you might run again, ever?
That was it. One time was enough. I've gone back to being a stockbroker.
We're also asking people if they're Republicans and Democrats and to explain why. Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
I'm an independent now.
Can you tell us I'm an independent because, well, what did you used to be?
I've been a Republican. I've been a Democrat depending on who's running. You go with the people you like. I'm independent now, so I can go either way and try to vote the man or the woman rather than the party.
When you say vote the man or the woman, what do you mean?
Someone I like or relate to, believe in their ideals.
Thanks.
Okay.
Have you ever imagined yourself running for public office?
Yes, but I've never given it real serious consideration.
What do you think it would be like to run for office?
I think it's a lot of hard work. I think you have to have a really strong determination of where you want to get to, and you have to have made a lot of alliances, and you have to put a lot of time into it. I don't think it's an easy job, and I don't think when you get there it's an easy job either.
What kind of people do you think actually run for office? Is there a political personality?
I think there are. I don't know that there's just one. I think there are probably a couple of different kinds of personalities. I think that there are people who have a tremendous amount of self-confidence, and they're individuals who will run. And then I think there are people who are extraordinarily committed to a single agenda item, and they are also people who will run, but they're not necessarily the same individuals.
What do you think about this American politics in general?
That's a hard question. I think it's changed over time, and I think that one of the factors that's changed it, unfortunately, is the media. Not that I disapprove of the media, but I think that there's too much focus on an individual's personal life and what they're doing that everybody else is doing. But for some reason, that becomes a criteria by which we judge political candidates, and I don't really think that has anything to do with how good an individual is going to be as a political official. I think sometimes it has some relationship if they are, for example, not above board in their fund activities. But beyond that, I think that it really doesn't have a lot to do with how good someone's going to be at being governor or president or a senator.
When you vote for people, what's the most important determination you make in choosing who you're going to vote for?
It's their position on various issues. I think that's important. And I think whether I believe that they have credibility with what they're saying and that they're going to follow through on that as well.
Last question. We're asking people if they're Democrats or Republicans. Are you a Democrat or a Republican?
I'm neither. I'm an uncommitted, what they used to call an independent, but we have a new term now. I'm an uncommitted. So I will vote whichever candidate I think is going to do the best job.
That's great. You know something, we've been talking to a lot of people, but a lot of stuff you said was pretty good. This is for a series for PBS. It'll be on in October. If you give me your name and address.
Is that on camera too?
It doesn't have to be.
My name is Ruth Cowell, and I live at 77 Walden Street in Newtonville.
And what's the zip?
02160.
Thank you very much. Steve, is this okay?
Yep.
What's this about? Well, we're asking people if they've ever imagined themselves running for public office. And in your wildest dreams, have you ever imagined yourself running for elective office?
No.
Not at all, ever?
No.
What do you think it'd be like to run for office?
A lot of trouble. You gotta get funding, and you gotta, you can't get done what you want to do usually because you have a constituency in you when they want you to get done. And plus there's all sorts of interests you're vying for and things like that. So, I don't know, it seems like it's such a hassle, especially getting money and stuff. Because it's really expensive, especially for presidency or something like that.
Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
I suppose I'd call myself a Democrat.
Can you start by saying I'm a Democrat because, and then complete the sentence?
I don't think so.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
In one, 2 words, the dirty thing. Yeah, I just don't like politics, period.
Thanks.
So, you're welcome.
Imagination, ever imagine what it would be like to run for political office?
I guess when I was a little kid, but that's not my aspiration now.
What do you think it would be like to run for office? As a personal experience?
I think you'd have to. You have to lie a lot. I think politicians are liars, and I think there's a lot of bull that goes along with the game. You know, I don't think I'd be up for it. Is that all? I'm late for work.
One more question. Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
Republican.
Tell me I'm a Republican because, and then explain why.
Well, actually, I guess I'm an independent, but I guess I'm a Republican because I think I believe in the financial views of in the way Republican. I think this country needs to be run like a business right now, and as far as like family values and that aspect of it, I guess I agree with the Democrats because that's not really the Republicans' forte. But as far as what this country needs, I think we need a Republican in office. Is that it?
That's great. Thanks.
Sure.
No.
How come?
Couldn't stand the invasion of privacy.
What do you think it would be like to run for office? Would it be hard work?
Well, I've worked on campaigns before, so I know it's a lot of hard work. It's 24 hours a day, the phone's ringing off the hook, and you're just going all the time, meeting people for the first time, and working the stump speech. And it's something I've seen done, been part of, and wouldn't care to do it myself.
Is there a certain kind of personality of a person that wants to run for office?
You need an incredible sense of ego and self-assuredness.
One last question. We're asking people if they're Republicans and Democrats, and you explain why. Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
I'm a Democrat.
Okay, can you look at me and say, I'm a Democrat because, and finish the sentence?
I'm a Democrat because I believe that a political party should be inclusive of various parts of segments of society, and I think that the Republicans are rather exclusive, although they would tell you that they are not. And I think the Democrats tend to be more inclusive. They bring more party into the forum, and people have a greater chance at giving voice to their political agenda.
Now, somebody who's worked on campaigns, what are they like? I mean, most people don't really have an idea of what it's really like to be in politics.
It's an incredible amount of fun, actually. If you're not the guy out on the front, but you're behind the scenes, if you're there to prep the crowd, to set up interviews and to do things like that, it's a lot of fun. It's very exciting, and there's nothing quite like it. And I would encourage everyone to do it at one point or another in their life. If they can get behind a candidate and they feel strongly about it, they should go for it. It's a great experience.
Why are Americans so down on politics, then?
I think they're pessimistic. I think because of the way the Democrats and the Republicans have been polarized, I think probably over the last 10 to 12 years, in the primaries, the active party members really feel like they have a candidate who is going to bring their agenda actually to political reality. And the fact is that once the primary is over, it's a mad rush to middle America to find out what's the least offensive position to take on something to get the most amount of votes. And when they do that, they box themselves in and they find themselves in political office and they can't really do much. And I think people are frustrated with that.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Have you ever imagined what it would be like to run for public office?
I wouldn't even have the slightest idea.
How come?
I don't know, just rather work. I'd just rather do whatever I'm doing now.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
You know something, Steve? Can we put it just over? Have you ever, in your wildest imaginations, ever thought about running for political office, what it might be like?
Yes.
What do you think? What do you think it would be like?
It would be a very responsible position.
What about the act of running for office, then?
Oh, it would be. What would I say? You would have to accumulate quite a bit of money to be in that position, I would say. I mean, you wouldn't have to have the money, but I mean, you would have to have someone support you financially, I think.
Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
I really don't care to say.
Okay. Thanks a lot, man. Bye-bye. Okay. It's not a trick question. You have to come a little bit closer, then. Okay. Have you ever, in your imagination, imagined yourself running for political office or thought about what it would be like to run for office?
No.
What do you think it would be like to run for office?
Hell, I mean, just spending all of the money, or spending a lot of money on, just advertising and, or at least slamming another candidate and, not really offering any substantive, ideas. At least that's the way I see, candidates today, so. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Have you ever imagined what it would be like to run for political office?
Never appealed to me.
What do you think it would be like?
Like living in a glass house. You know what I mean?
check everything you've ever done, ever thought.
Okay, thanks. It'd be like to run for political office.
What do I think it would be like?
Yeah.
I think it'd be very difficult to run for political office. Primarily because of the invasion of privacy and the incredible responsibility that's involved if you win the office.
So why do you think people do it?
They want to serve their country. They want to serve their fellow human beings and try to make a difference.
Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
No, I'm neither. I consider myself independent.
And what do you think about the political system in general? Do you think that elections make a difference?
I think we're incredibly lucky that we have the right to vote, and that I do think they make a difference, yes. I think we're an example for the rest of the world. Our electoral system is. I think it's a shame that more people don't take advantage of it, but I think there's widespread discouragement and apathy in the system.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that's true?
Well, primarily, I think we've seen so much exposure in the media that we wouldn't have seen in times past, and people have a sense that our politicians are not all that they should be.
What should they be, do you think?
Well, I think they should be responsible and honest and models for everyone, and embodying our Constitution and public servants. And in our society at the moment, we've swung, I think, in another way where politicians are perceived as self-serving and perhaps too powerful and in some instances corrupt, and that's it negatively affects everyone else who has put them there and put their trust in them and has expected them to serve in an honest way.
That's great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Imagine what it would be like to run for political office.
No, I haven't.
What do you think it would be like?
I haven't given it any thought. Give me a break. I don't.
Okay. Have you ever imagined in your wildest dreams running for political office what it would be like to run for office?
No, not at all.
What do you think? What do you think it would be like?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I'm not that crooked, so I don't know. I'm not that way. I couldn't tell you. Thanks.
What do you think it would be like?
Difficult. It would be like you'd be in the public eye all the time, and like we are now. I don't know. It'd be pretty weird.
Thanks a lot. Imagine what it would be like for political office. What do you think that would be like to run for office?
Kind of scary in this day and age.
Why?
Every little facet of your past life would come out. Everything that you did in college, everything that you even thought about doing at college and shared with your friends. Any infringement of not having filed your taxes, whether or not it was just a late filing or whatever. Everything.
Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
Well, I'm registered Republican, but I vote by the man rather than the party.
Okay, thank you very much. People, if they've ever imagined what it would be like to run for political office, I mean, what do you think it would be like to run for political office?
For me, it'd be very radical. It'd be a redistribution. Mostly public space, more public, more places where there are open space areas that need sitting. You know, people can come from lunch, from their stressful work and sit out, enjoy their lunches. Downtown needs to be cleaned up pretty much. Chinatown, street markings, crosswalks are in need of improvement right here at Ring Road and Boylston Street, in different areas where there should be crosswalks, there aren't. The simple things need to be like zero level, improved from the ground up, and then we build on the other stuff.
Okay, so you have strong views of what should be done, but you know to be able to get that done, you've got to win.
Sure.
What do you think it'd be like to actually do the process of running for office?
Running definitely based on community-based coalitions and having common an interest in common problems. In other words, two communities like Southie and Roxbury can live together, but their common problem is an asphalt plant. So they're working together on that. They realize they share a common problem. So there's coalition building like that. That's the only way you can win, other than the old boy network.
What about electoral politics? Do you think it makes a difference in this country? Is it important?
It's important in terms of exercising your rights, but you still need a grasp on the complex economic activities that are going on. They're moving very rapidly, and people need to get a hold on what it means to their community and neighborhoods in terms of economic revitalization, and that's going to spread the wealth and again redistribute some of the income that is necessary to help the kids come behind the adults. So.
When you listen to Democrats and Republicans, you don't hear a whole lot about redistribution of income. So,
No.
I mean, are you being offered the choices that you would like to see proposed to our mainstream party people?
No, they deal with their own issues. I mean, in terms of mainstream, you deal with what you think will get you reelected. And unfortunately, secondary is what your constituents are saying, I think. And so the primary thing for current day politics is what matters to them in getting reelected. For someone new, it would be presenting a new set of problems, and then again moving with those coalitions that express the interest in working with them.
Okay, last question, because you're good and I want to be able to get this. If you ran for office and you had to do the sorts of things that people have to do in this country, going door to door, raising money, all that sort of stuff, what do you think it would be like as a personal experience?
Personal experience, some surprises. It would be based on my set of problems. Every area has different set of issues. You would have to walk the middle of the road with some issues, and some you have to show people the light that this is what is better for the future. We all live in the present, but we need to talk about the future and what will be good for the kids coming up behind us.
That's great. Thank you very much.
All right.
We're asking people if they've ever imagined what it would be like to run for political office in this country. I mean, what do you think it would be like to run for office?
You know something? I don't have time to talk because I have to go to an interview. I don't want to be on TV. I was just curious.
Wildest imaginations ever thought about what it would be like to run for political office in this country? What do you think it would be like personally?
Terrible.
How come?
It's a very demanding profession, and you're up for public scrutiny, and everybody wonders what you're doing in your private life. It's a sacrifice. It's a true sacrifice.
Do you think people appreciate what kind of a sacrifice it is?
No, they don't. They don't understand it.
Why are people so down on politicians these days, then?
Why are they so down? Because of the demands that are made upon politicians, and they're only human. And people don't appreciate politicians. Okay?
Thanks. We're asking people if they've ever in their wildest imaginations imagined themselves running for public office, what it would be like personally. What do you think it would be like to run for political office?
Political office? Sorry, I have no idea. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Thanks.
Sorry.
What kind of public television is this?
Well, Public Television Channel 2.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. We're asking people if they've ever imagined what it would be like to run for public office. What do you think it would be like to run for political office in this country?
What do I personally feel? It would it would definitely be an experience. The Lord knows somebody, and it's time for change because the people that are in office now aren't really doing too much. For example, when Clinton went to office, I was expecting a big change, and things aren't that different. I personally think that running for office, if I was to do it, it would be great because I, fix everything up the right way. You know what I'm saying?
So you're one of those guys that make all these promises.
Oh no, I wouldn't make promises, but I wouldn't really make promises I couldn't keep because that's what a lot of people that go into office do. They make promises and don't usually keep them. But I'd make a couple of promises and hopefully be able to stand by my word.
Have you ever known anybody that ran for office?
No, I've never known anybody from office.
What is your view of politicians in general?
Don't trust him. Don't trust him. Personally, but I figure it like this, right? Everybody has something bad to say about politicians, but we're the ones who elect them into office. So, you know, it's a two-way street. You know, we elect these people and then, oh, they're not doing their job, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. But we're the ones who put them into office. So, you know, it's a two-way street.
Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
I would consider myself a Democrat.
Okay, can you look at me and say, I'm a Democrat because, and finish the sentence?
I'm a Democrat because Republicans are shiesty. They're dirty. I don't trust them. Rush Limbaugh and Howard Stern, those types they're no good.
That's great. Thank you very much. We're asking people if they could possibly imagine what it would be like personally to run for political office in this country. What do you think it would be like to run for office in this country?
What office are we talking? We talking senator? I'm a city councilman from my hometown, so.
Oh, really? Where are you from?
Chicago. West Chicago.
Ah, well, we did a big thing on Chicago politics for a series about American politics. So tell me, what is it like to be a candidate? Do you think people have any understanding what it's like to be a candidate in this country?
No, I don't. I don't think they realize what the ramifications of being a candidate in public office, because you are representing the people. And I think that's what we're missing today, is representing of the people. You are elected by the people, not for yourself or for your own prestige. You are elected for the people. You represent their tax money. The laws that you put into effect represent and affect the people. I think that's what we're missing.
Well, what's it like personally to run for office?
I think it's fun. I think it's an enjoyable experience. I get to meet a lot of people. I go to other seminars here and there, and it's just the mix of people that you get to see. It's beneficial, I think. I think everybody should try it. It's a good experience.
So can you say that again and say everybody should try running for office? It's a good experience?
Sure.
No, tell me that.
Yeah, it's a good experience.
No, you have to tell me. They're not going to hear my question. So tell me, everybody should run for political office. It's a good experience.
I think everybody should run for political office because I think it's a good experience.
Look at me and say that.
Take two. I think everybody should run for political office because I think it's a good experience.
Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
I represent who I feel will do the best job. Personally, I'm a registered Democrat.
Okay, so can you look at me and say I'm a Democrat because, and finish the sentence?
I don't know if I vote for Republican and Democrat, so. I'm an independent.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye-bye. We're asking people if they've ever given any thought to what it'd be like personally to run for political office in this country.
What it would be like personally?
To be a candidate. What do you think it would be like?
Very stressful.
Why?
Just because nobody seems to be able to make a decision around anything and hold to it, you know? And when decisions are made, a lot of people suffer, and there's always these effects.
Have you ever thought about what it'd be like for you if you ever ran for office? Have you ever imagined that you could do a better job running?
No. I never think I could really do a better job, just do a good job at anything I do.
How do you feel about politics in general?
I don't feel about it.
Feel about what?
Politics. You know, I just don't have a gut feeling about politics. You know, I think most people that are in politics deal from their heads and not from their guts, you know? So, I mean, I deal from my gut.
Why don't they deal from their guts?
Because I don't think that politics is made to deal from your insides. You don't deal from your heart. You deal from your head, you know, logic. It's not a natural sort of thing. Might sound kind of hokey.
When you say it's not a natural kind of thing, can you be more specific? What do you mean?
It's not. It's, you know, when things are. I don't know. Kind of picked the wrong person because I really.
No, this is interesting.
It sounds like it means something to you.
Yeah, that's so I think you are the right person. So.
You know, decisions are made and people sit around and they discuss and they really can't or don't allow themselves to feel about they may personally want or not want to go through, or their families, or so on and so forth. So things get passed, and for the most part, I think people don't allow themselves to have any human feelings about decisions, that are made for the masses. So things become what they are in this society, sad and discomforting, and yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. I mean, for most, I think.
Do you vote?
No, I don't.
So tell me why you don't vote. Or say I don't vote and then tell me why.
I'll tell you.
If you can start by saying I don't vote.
I don't vote. I'm not registered in this town, so I know I don't have a voice. So I think for the most part that I deal too much from my insides and from my gut, and I've just never gained any sort of trust. Sort of logical thinking. That may be something I learned in my later years. I've been approached about this.
Okay. That's fine. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, I gotta go.
We're asking people if they've ever imagined what it'd be like personally on their own lives to run for political office. What do you think it'd be like?
I think it would be an incredible burden. I think the scrutiny would be, I don't think anybody in their right mind would do it. I think you have to be in such an ego trip. It simply wouldn't be worth it for most people. That's why I think the quality of the candidates is such as it is.
So what sorts of people run for office?
People that are on serious ego trips. There's so many downsides to it. I really don't think that most people in their right mind would pursue it as a job.
But this is a representative democracy.
Nonetheless, I think we've constructed a system that makes the downsides far outweigh the positive sides. And a lot of people who could contribute something simply, it's just not worth it.
Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
I'm a Republican.
Can you look at me and say I'm a Republican because and finish the sentence?
I'm a Republican because I believe that government can be part of the problem, not just part of the solution. I think that government governs best when it governs least. And I think that in our country, the pendulum has gone altogether too far into kind of a socialist way of doing things. The government is the solution for all problems, and I think it needs to go back the other way. Okay?
That's great, thank you. Imagine what it would be like personally to run for political office. What do you think it would be like?
I think it would be unusual. Kind of interesting. Yeah.
Are you interested in the political system?
I'm interested in the political system. I'm not interested in running for office.
How come?
Well, I just don't know what I could personally contribute, although very often I question what some of our politicians are contributing. Yeah, and I just don't have the money. I mean, it seems as though today you've got to have quite a bit of money to run for public office. Yeah.
Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
I'm an independent. Yeah.
What do you think about the state of American politics today?
I think it needs to be improved. I think a lot of people are losing faith in it, and I think there's need for improvement. There's need for good people to get into politics. Yeah.
Why do you need so much money to run for office?
Yeah, the system requires it.
The system requires what? Sorry.
The system requires a lot of money to run for politics. I mean, just take a look at our politicians today. You have to be quite wealthy in order to run for politics. Yeah.
That's not the way it was supposed to be, was it?
No, it wasn't. It's not. And there's a question, what we have to question is, do we truly have a democratic system? Yeah.